darkest scene, and I say that in a good way, after one. Golden State with a 3-point lead. How about Dallas? 7 field goals, all from downtown, and it has been Jerry Stackhouse who has provided a lift in the first quarter.
Well, there's a reason they're getting so many open looks from 3. They are wearing out this Warriors zone. Look at these open looks for Stackhouse. Every time, the nearest guy is Andris Biedrins. He's the low guy on this 3-2 zone. But you can see it's too difficult for him to go all the way out to Stackhouse. Finally, Stephen Jackson recognized it, but at this point, he's already hit 3. Jackson too late. And remember, that 3-point shot in the corner is the easiest 3-point shot on the floor. The line is just 22 feet in the corners, and Stackhouse, when he gets it going, he'll make that all night.
Golden State in possession as the second quarter gets underway. Dirk Nowitzki sitting down 0 for 4 from the field in the first quarter. Here's Jackson. Nice move, but he draws the foul. Aaron Davis came out of the locker room and then apparently decided to make his way back to the locker room, and we're told, as Pam Oliver reported, it is a strained right hamstring. They taped it up, and the feeling is he will give it a try.
And this is why you talk about, wasted opportunities. Golden State the other night up 12, with 3 minutes to go, they blow a golden chance to finish the series. This is why you have to finish playoff series when you get the opportunity. You never know what's going to happen. If Baron Davis is out for this game and Game 7, they have little to no chance of winning this series.
Well, the Mavericks had that game-ending 15-0 run. They were down by 9 in the closing minutes with about 3 minutes left after leading by as many as 21 in the first half, and that's when Dirk Nowitzki came alive with the 2 straight 3-pointers. Nice touch by Jason Terry, and that's the first 2-pointer of the night for the Mavs.
Terry coming off the bench after those 2 quick early fouls, wasting no time.
Ellis challenging Diop. Diop with the rebound. So the Mavericks have Harris in the backcourt along with Terry, and up front George with Stackhouse and Diop. Both Howard and Nowitzki on the bench. Here's Stackhouse from the other side. Rebounded by Barnes. How about Matt Barnes, who was a question mark because he thought he had Jackson, and they turn it over. But Barnes with that slight hamstring pull in the starting lineup. Don Nelson telling us he did not want him to sit and come off the bench because he felt that he might not have been ready if he had to sit for a long time.
He's been terrific in this series. The question now, though, for Golden State, as you saw that turnover, no Baron Davis. They've got to have different guys bring the ball up the floor.
Well, Jackson does right here. Here's Jackson all the way. Rebounded by George. Jackson was looking for a foul call. Nice play. Terry cannot finish, and it's deflected out. Last touch by Harrington. And once again, Aaron Davis makes his way to the Golden State bench.
And you'd think, by that same logic that Nelly used for Matt Barnes, that Baron Davis would go right in the game now because his hamstring is now stretched out, I'm assuming, by the trainer. You don't want him sitting too long.
Josh Howard returns, coming on for Jerry Stackhouse, and here's Baron Davis walking slowly over to the scorer's table. Harris way off. Barnes setting it up. Oh, he sees the open path and then came up short. Howard with the lead pass that is chased down. And here's Howard at the other end.
And that's how they have to run. They've got to come up, push the ball up the floor. If there's something easy, take it. If not, bring it back out and control the tempo.
So the game is tied at 29, and as you see, Stephen Jackson is shaken up.
Now take a look. Matt Barnes with this little running jumper. Jackson is going to come in. Look at Richardson ending up on the back of Devin George. And it looked like maybe Jackson got poked in the eye.
22nd timeout is taken. 2 minutes and 15 seconds gone by. We are tied at 29. Game 6 of the best of 7 with Golden State in front 3-2. A deciding game 7, if necessary, would be Saturday night back at American Airlines Center in Dallas. Check in with Pam Oliver. Pam?
Well, Mark, Baron Davis was cool as a cucumber as he headed back out to the floor. He said to the team's trainer, I played hurt before. I ain't tripping. Remember, Marv, Davis has a bad left knee, which has developed some swelling. And that's to go along with that slight hamstring strain that he just suffered. Back to you.
All right, Pam, I said the same thing a moment ago to Steve. I ain't tripping here.
You ready to go?
Yeah. Baron Davis handling against Devin Harris, and his pass picked off.
And a good choice by Jason Terry. Don't take the open three. Instead, make Baron Davis work. Look at Davis struggling with that hamstring, but a poor decision.
Oh, the save by Richardson nearly picked off, and now George comes up hobbling. Richardson for 3. Bodies falling all over the court. Harris puts the move on Davis. You can see Davis cannot move. Crowd wanted to travel on Harris, and Davis laboring. He's now defending on Terry up top. Terry looks to go at him. Davis was able to cut off the angle. Now Terry with the step and scores.
And Davis can't move. You can see it out there. Now he's pointing for Jason Richardson to take the ball. And this is disastrous for the Warriors.
Mavericks have taken a 31-29 lead off a 9-1 run. Davis with the shot. Will it count? No. Whistle before the shot attempt.
I think the officials are going to confer here. Steve Javie may call this bucket good. Obviously, the fans and the Warriors players begging it.
And that is a call. They say the basket counts. It's like Harrelson was calling it off, and as you say, they conferred, so the game is tied at 31.
I'm not sure what the call was. It a 3-second defensive violation? Because I know they will cancel that out if the shot goes in, and that must have been it. If it had been a foul, there would have been a free throw attempted to go along with it.
Well, now we're told it was an inadvertent whistle. You hate when that happens. Here's Harris. Rebounded by Richardson.
And again, not the shot Devin Harris should take. I mean, when he's got openings, he's got to attack, but with plenty of time on the shot clock, Dallas has to make Golden State work, especially with Baron Davis injured out here.
Davis to the pull-up. It's kept alive. Biedrins, who just came on, was able to get to it. Richardson. And it's deflected out. Last touch by George. And that leads to a timeout.
Well, it may take a Willis Reed type effort here tonight from Baron Davis for Golden State to win. Limping on one leg, gets the jumper to go, but how much does he have in the tank?
In series of the first round of the playoffs, Snoop Dogg is on hand. Hall of Famer Ronnie Lott is Woody Harrelson. And Kate Hudson and Owen Wilson. Kate attended Crossroads High School in L.A. and a good friend of Baron Davis.
I thought it was nice of you, too, to lend your gold chain to Snoop Dogg tonight. Looks better on him than it does on you, though.
Thank you. I should mention that Baron also attended Crossroads in Santa Monica in L.A. Jackson. And the tip put home. Biedrins will get credit. Michael Biedrins in his 4th NBA season. Grew up in the French Caribbean island of Guadeloupe. And then left to spend his youth in France. Here's Harris. And the game is tied at 33.
Well, if you want to see a Don Nelson lineup, this is it on the floor. All 5 guys able to step out on the floor, shoot threes. We're going to see an offensive foul here on Davis. But with this lineup right now, Al Harrington's going to have to make some plays for Don Nelson, particularly with Davis struggling. Biedrins was terrific early, but Harrington's going to have to make some shots, make Desagena Diop respect him, and stretch the floor a little bit.
fourth turnover committed by Davis. 5 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Nowitzki is back, played by Harrington. And that pass picked off. Biedrins wide open for three. Nowitzki with the rebound. Dirk Nowitzki looking for his first field goal. 0 for 4 thus far. And a blocking foul called on Richardson.
Well, how about Dallas's shooting so far? 11 for 33. They're shooting 33%, but they've made 7 of 11 threes. That's how they're in the ball game. But we look at what would have been the third foul on Jason Terry, but clearly a block on Richardson. Although I don't know if the crowd quite agrees.
Nowitzki. The tip by Diop. Desagena Diop, who was a major contributor the other night. With 11 points, 5 for 5 from the field. Jackson with his third three. He has 10 points.
Well, Mark, Diop has been a huge part of this series, particularly in the last couple of games. Dallas has been able to keep him on the floor, as I think we're going to see a charge. Well, it looks like Harrington was underneath the restricted line.
Well, apparently they are saying the basket counts.
Well, take a look. Devin Harris is picking on Davis now. He knows Davis can't move. And yes, good call from the officials. Harrington sliding in, and his feet were absolutely on the line. And Marv, I started to talk about the effectiveness of Desagena Diop. What he does in this series, he occupies somebody in the lane on offense. So it makes Golden State come over and help. But more importantly, at the defensive end, he can protect the basket. That's one of the reasons the Mavericks have gone to a 3-2 zone for much of the last 3 games. They've protected him, and he in turn protects the basket.
That was last touched by the Mavericks. Just under 6 to play in the first half, and Dallas has a 1-point lead. Friday or tomorrow, depending on what time zone you're in. On ESPN will be Game 6 of the Raptors and Nets starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and then Sunday on ABC, Game 7 of Nets-Raptors if that series extends to 7, or Game 1 between the Nets and the Cavaliers, followed by Game 1 of the Spurs and the Suns. Here's Ellis with a reverse, the kick by Biedrins.
Well, that's what Biedrins does. You saw Diop come over to help out on the Ellis lay-in, but Biedrins will clean that up every time.
Golden State has recaptured the lead.
Back to that 3-2 zone. Watch Terry in the corner.
Pass intended for Diop, broken up. Davis got a piece of it. Here's Jackson. Davis from three-point territory. Rebounded by Diop.
Now, sooner or later, as Howard gets the run out, but the foul on Steven Jackson. And Marv, I was going to say, sooner or later, Baron Davis is going to stop making threes. He was a 30% three-point shooter in the regular season. You see him casting one here. 52% in this series. But look at him. Can he get back? No, he's hobbled. He asked for help, and Howard takes advantage. But he's never been a consistent long-range shooter. He's been on fire to this point, but at some point the law of averages take over.
Game is tied at 38. 9 points for Howard. But once again, it has been a case of Dirk Nowitzki not being able to get into the offense. 0 for 5 from the field, just 2 points.
And the Warriors do an excellent job on Dirk, and they're paying a lot of attention to him. They're sending a guy kind of in his lap, and as a result, the Mavericks are getting some open threes.
Biedrins for 3, way off. And back comes Terry. Stackhouse, yes. What a first half for Jerry Stackhouse. 5 for 8, 16 points in 10 minutes.
And again, Dallas runs with the intention of getting an easy shot. Jerry Stackhouse from 15 feet. Avery Johnson will take that every time.
Diop got a piece of it, recovered though by Jackson. Davis, played by Howard, takes the shot and scores a three for Baron Davis.
Like I said, he's going to stay on fire from the three-point line for the rest of the series.
So now you do not believe in law of averages. Warriors have a 1-point lead. Here's Terry. Nowitzki gets to it. Dallas couldn't believe there was no foul on that contact. Terry's pass broken up. Comes to Howard. Howard bottled up. Howard. Oh, what a recovery by Josh Howard.
Yeah, he's 4 of 11. He's missed some shots, but he's being so aggressive. You have to love his intent. And he's been the Mavericks' best player throughout this series. Dallas
by 1. Jackson off the spin. That will not count. Foul before the shot attempt. Foul on Howard. That's his first.
Well, Howard just does a little bit of everything. He can knock down the three, as we saw earlier. But he can also put the ball on the floor. Gets a lot of offensive rebounds, a lot of garbage buckets like that one, where he just picks up a loose ball and uses his athleticism to get the ball into the bucket.
Matt Barnes returns for Michael Petras. Barnes, Biedrins, Jackson up front, Davis and Ellis at the guards. Here's Davis, a quick shot. What a release. It's another three for Baron Davis to give Golden State a 2-point edge.
Well, you get the sense that he knows he can't penetrate with the same effectiveness that he has been, so he's going to just start firing away.
Rare miss for Stackhouse. Here comes Ellis to the pull-up. Biedrins on the back tap, handled by Terry. Just under 3 minutes remaining in this first half. Marv Albert, Steve Kerr, Pam Oliver. We're in Oakland for Game 6. Nowitzki off balance, rebounded by Biedrins. Davis all slapped away, and Terry in the open floor. But Terry lays it home, and that ties the game.
Davis, again, doesn't get back defensively. He can't expend the energy to do so, but more importantly, the move that he made put him in a position where he had to throw that wild pass. He just does not have it tonight.
Biedrins, a little over-anxious. He saw he had the opening with Diop off to the other side.
The injury to Davis is leading to some uncharacteristic poor decisions and passes from him. Dallas with the easy 2 coming from Jason Terry.
San Antonio and Phoenix wrapped up their series. They advance. They'll meet in the Western Conference semifinals. Earlier this evening, the Jazz over the Rockets 94-82. Carlos Boozer led the way for Utah, 22 points, 9 rebounds. Tracy McGrady, 26 points and 10 rebounds. They'll play a 7th and deciding game in Houston Saturday night and here on TNT. Well, there's the owner of the Mavericks, Mark Cuban. There was a bitter parting of the way between Don Nelson and Mark Cuban. They are not on speaking terms. Nelson says proceedings have begun for an arbitration hearing as Nowitzki misses again. He's 0 for 7, rebounded by Jackson. Here's Barnes. And rebounded by Diop. Nelson feels that Cuban and the Mavericks owe $6 million, $6 million plus on that original contract that he signed with the former Mavericks owner, Ross Perot Jr. Nowitzki cannot find the range, and a foul is called as Davis hits the deck. The foul is on Howard. Mark Cuban says he's not received any official paperwork regarding the claim of Don Nelson, so there is a subplot to this series off the court.
Well, it's something that, a little gamesmanship from both guys, but particularly from Cuban. Dallas has obviously been so threatened in this series. We heard Avery Johnson the other night after Game 5 say that the Warriors now have 10,000 pounds of pressure on their right arm. I think Cuban trying to pile on top of that a little bit, and that's what's made this pretty intriguing, both on and off the floor.
Davis over to Nowitzki. How about Baron Davis hobbling around, suffered the the strained hamstring late in the first quarter, but hitting his shots after returning in the second.
A heroic effort. I think it's hurting him at the defensive end of the floor even more than at the offensive end.
Stackhouse, Diop rebounds. Gets it back to Stackhouse.
Boy, Diop has been absolutely huge here tonight and in the last couple of games in the series. But he's played big minutes. There 22 minutes in this half. That's how effective he's been for Avery Johnson.
Nowitzki finally knocks one down. He missed his first 8 shots. Jackson went down. He thought he was pushed by Nowitzki. The game is tied at 46 with a half-minute left. Oh, Davis with the leader. He thought he was being fouled. He just looked to fire it, and he scores from 3-point territory.
Reminiscent of that shot late in Game 5 that put the Warriors up 12 with 3 minutes to go. Just a heave, a total hoist.
Aaron Davis has the last 11 points for Golden State. Here's Stackhouse, just did beat the shot clock. 7 seconds left in the half. Warriors lead by 1. Barnes goes behind the back on a crossover, recovers, and is fouled. Fouled by Nowitzki. Not a good foul. It puts Dallas over the limit.
Well, if it seems like the Warriors are kind of hanging on by a thread here, it's because they keep coming up with crazy plays like this one just to stay in the game. Davis off 1 foot just tried to draw the foul. He was going to go for the quick 2-for-1. The game clock was at about 35 seconds. He thought he got fouled, throws it up, just tries to get free throws, and somehow that shot goes in.
Reminder coming up on the T-Mobile halftime report. Ernie, Charles, and Kenny will have highlights of the Rockets and the Jazz, and we'll take a look back at what has occurred here in the first half. Matt Barnes has given the Warriors a 2-point lead. Matt Barnes, originally a second-round pick of the Grizzlies. He's played for the Clippers, the Kings, the Sixers, the Knicks, back to Philly, now Golden State. Also played in the D-League and has played very well this season.
He's a typical Don Nelson type player. Very versatile, very long, and he's got the ability to make shots.
How about Nowitzki losing a shoe as he tried the fling with time running out?
Boy, tough half for Nowitzki, 1 for 9. Then he has to throw a 90-foot heave without his shoe on that makes his stats look even worse.
Well, a wild first half, typical of what has taken place in this series between Golden State